TV. I am Idowu Fabajo. The Ministry of Agriculture, Ogun State, has flagged off sale of presidential fertilizers at a subsidized rate for farmers. The commissioner in the ministry, Mrs. Abeokuta, says agricultural warehouses are opened for the sale of the fertilizers, which is an initiative of President Muhammadu Buhari, boost agriculture in all season. Charity James reports that the flag off of the sale was done at Agri Services Corporation, Ashiru, Abeokuta. Our report.
President Buhari formally approved the commencement of the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative and announced it in his Budget 2017 speech. The goal is to achieve the local production of 1 million metric tons of blended nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium NPK fertilizer for the 2017 wet farming season and an additional 500,000 metric tons for dry season farming.
This is a very laudable program put together by the federal government, and of course the state government under the leadership of His Excellency have subscribed to that. We want programs like this to continue, and it's very important that we ensure that when good programs like this are put out, that they're not abused.
Ogun State, one of the beneficiaries of the federal government agricultural plan of ensuring a well-robust all-through farming seasons, has its first batch of delivery of NPK 2010-10 presidential fertilizers. The Ministry of Agriculture in charge of the fertilizer therefore called on all farmers across the state to key into the federal government program and purchase the fertilizer at subsidized rate.
And as we are launching these sales here, we are very happy to tell you that the fertilizer is equally available in other parts of the state, in Ikenne, in Ijebu-Ode, in Ilaro, in Shawojo. So any farmer in the state can easily access any of these locations. All they need to do is they take their, they go to the bank and they pay, and they bring their teller to the warehouse, and the fertilizer is available at the government's recommended price of 5,500 naira only per bag. So we're very grateful to His Excellency the President, President Muhammadu Buhari, as well as of course our own ever supportive governor, Senator Ibikunle Amosu, CONFCA, for ensuring that indeed Ogun State is the first state in the southwest, and certainly the state that is very committed to agriculture. In
all, Ogun State expects about 200,000 tons of the fertilizers, a gesture farmers say will put the farming process in the right path as bountiful yields are guaranteed.
The people in Ogun State will start having the relief on this increase in the price of gari and the price of pepper and what have you. Because our farmers, we have told them to go and pick the fertilizer at the rate of those. Some people are even wondering, is it as cheap as that? Then we told them the price is on that, the price tag is on that bag already. So even if you get there and somebody even asks you to pay more than 5,500, there is a phone number there, the whistle blowing. You can even call that number that I got to so place, and they said it's 6,000 or 7,000. Then you will see what will happen immediately.
Beyond the broader goal of ensuring food security for the country by providing high-grade fertilizer to ensure harvest in the 2017 farming season, the Buhari administration is by this initiative reinforcing its commitment to reviving and diversifying the economy and creating growth through focus on agriculture. Charity James, OGTV News.
Ogun State House of Assembly has commended the pace at which the ongoing projects are moving at some of the construction sites in Ogun Central Senatorial District. Chairman, House Committee on Works and Infrastructure, Honorable Olayiwola Ojodu, gave the commendation during on the sport assessment of ongoing projects. Details are in this package.
As part of its constitutional duties, the Ogun State House of Assembly Committee on Works and Infrastructure, led by Honorable Olayiwola Ojodu, along with other members of his committee, inspected the ongoing projects in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. The first port of call was NNPC Junction along Abeokuta Shagamu Expressway, the flyover under construction. Others were Lafenwa Yituri Road, where the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, explains some of the measures put in place to accommodate other activities on the road.
What is going to happen here is that we are going to have 14 lanes here, 14 lanes of highway. We have 4 on the right hand side, we have 3, and our people have supported the remaining. We have it as well as from there to here, 4 lanes on the right hand side, 3 lanes of fast. So when you are coming from once you enter the 3 lanes, that means you want to go fast. And if you enter the 4 lanes, that means you want to carry passengers.
Other areas visited are Brewery Junction of Lafenwaita Oshim Road, Enugada, Agoika stretch of Adato Road. While expressing his satisfaction, the Chairman, House Committee on Works and Infrastructure, Honorable Olayewole Ojodu, applauded the contractors on the level of work done, just as he commended the residents for their cooperation.
At least for the areas that we have seen now, talking about the Enugada to Adato, we saw that the speed at which they are going on that road, according to the contractor themselves, if they continue with the speed, not less than 2 months, that place should be ready, and that's a record time. And when we look at the NNPC bridge where we started here, we saw that yes, the bridge is almost, let's say, like 70% complete, and they are not doing badly in that on that particular project as well.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, Engineer Kayode Ademolaki, assures that the asphalting, concrete surfacing of the flyover on the Abeokuta Shagamu 10 lanes will be completed in the next 2 months.
After the mid-term holiday, the Ministry of Special Duties went round some of schools in Shagamu local government to monitor the homegrown feeding program of the federal government. Special Advisor to the Ogun State Government on Special Duties, Mrs. Tinu Shokpeju, led the monitoring team. Olujoke Mosako has the details.
The homegrown school feeding program of the federal government for pupils of primary 1 to 3 has received a boost by the Ogun State government with constant monitoring of food vendors. Leading the team to schools in Shagamu local government area of the state, Special Advisor to the Ogun State Governor on Special Duties, Mrs. Tinu Shokpeju, expresses satisfaction with the conduct of the food vendors.
We have found it commendable. The schools, the management of the schools are monitoring well. The vendors are adhering to prescribed standards for the quality of the food and for the quantity as prescribed to them. So we have commended them and we have encouraged them to even do better than this.
Despite the fasting season, while others eat their food in school, Muslim students have the opportunity to take theirs home for the evening.
I used to taste the food and I used to check all their plates. The surrounding where they put their food, I used to see to it.
Some of them just came in, and because they've had a number of people that have collected already, now the leftover, the people who have not collected theirs, that's what we're giving them.
The happy pupils were thankful to the Ogun State Governor for making it possible for them to benefit from the federal government's initiative.
Thank you to the Governor for progressing. Thank you, sir. And say thank you to the President for progressing. Thank you, sir. And say thank you to your head teacher and all your teachers. Thank you, sir.
A total of 21 schools were visited by the monitoring team. Olujoke Mosako, OGTV News.
Given Nigerian government's policy on less importation, in which fish carries the latest of the list of products to be so banned in the country to encourage and promote self-reliant agrarian nation, former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, in an interview with our reporter Morenike Baloju recently in his Abeokuta home, holistically backs this zero importation policy, with some other Nigerians also joining the crusade of agriculture as the next option to grow Nigeria economically. Details are in this package.
Before the advent of oil, agriculture was the mainstay of the economy in Nigeria, through which records of several developmental goals were made. Meanwhile, recently in the country, the economy was faced with challenge, leading to what is popularly referred to as recession, where government is assiduously working towards controlling and becoming the major focus of the current administration. To tackle this, banning of importation of all kinds became the option, with the aim of growing the economy while depending less on import goods. With fish carrying the latest on the list, the question therefore should be that, how possible can this be? Nigeria's former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who recently received a group of farmers in his Abeokuta home, seized the opportunity to call for total participation in the value chain.
You see, I am the chairman of Zero Hunger, and you see, like fish farming, you can even have fish farming in your backyard. Just like vegetable, you can have it in your backyard. But more importantly, we must all be aware of the need for us to be a self-reliant country for agriculture.
On her part, the former Managing Director of Bank of Industry, Mrs. Evelyn Oputu, who spoke as a concerned Nigerian, says Nigeria has what it takes to grow our economy without depending on importation.
We have the people, we have the land, we have the resources, but we don't do enough. I have fish ponds in my farm, and it's quite a challenge to do it alone. So I think the message that we should give to everyone is to participate in the entire value chain. You see, you can start a fish pond, you don't have the feed, it's a problem. If you don't have the good people also to man it, it's a problem. So it's for Nigerians as a people, all of us, to recognize that it's not only government that should do it, that is a collective thing, that all of us doing it, we will import less, there'll be more money, we'll grow as economy. We don't participate enough in what we do.
Mr. Adewolu is a fish farmer who also believes in the possibility of the country surviving the current economic challenge.
Prior to now, nobody is interested in fishing. What they do is just go to the river, catch the fish. But you discover that because of what is happening now, the population is growing at an exponential rate, and there's a need. You can't go to the river and begin to fish again because the fish are no longer existing. So that is the reason why people have now started cultivating fish in their farmyards all over the place. But we discovered that we need to grow more, and that is one of the reasons why the government is encouraging farming, fish farming and all the rest of it.
Now that Nigeria is on the verge of import-less strategy to grow the economy, the question is, how achievable will this be? Morenike Baloju, OGTV News.
Ogun State Government will on Thursday, 22nd of June 2017, present 1,000 certificate of occupancy and other title documents to another batch of beneficiaries under the Homeowners Chartered Program conceived by Governor Abeokuta administration. The certificate of occupancy and other title documents will be presented by the State Head of Service, Mr. Barami Shubandi, at Arcade Grant, Okemoson, Abeokuta. All contacted beneficiaries are to come with valid means of identification and photocopies of their house documents. "16 people have been killed in an attempted suicide bomb attack in the Lori Kofra village, Maiduguri. In a statement released by the National Emergency Management Agency Information Officer Abdul Kadir Ibrahim, the bomb was denotated by two fleeing female suicide bombers. Mr. Ibrahim said 2 other female suicide bombers were intercepted when they attempted to gain access into the Dalore 2 IDP camp. The statement said the injured victims have been administered with first aid and transported to hospitals within Maiduguri for the treatment. And on the foreign scene, Russia has warned the US-led coalition fighting in Syria that it will view its aircraft as targets after a Syrian military plane was shot down. The coalition said it had shot down the Syrian Su-22 after it bombed US-backed fighters in Raqqa province on Sunday. Russia's Syria's main ally said it was also halting communications with the U.S. aimed at preventing air incidents. Syria condemned America's flagrant attack, saying it would have dangerous repercussions. The incident comes at a time when the U.S.-led coalition and the fighters it's supporting on the ground are battling to our so-called Islamic State from its Syrian stronghold of Raqqa. Croatian authorities have launched an investigation into the captain of the national football team, Luka Modric. The midfielder, who also plays for Real Madrid, is suspected of making false statements at the tax fraud trial of Zlatko Mamic, his former manager. Mr. Mamic, a powerful figure in Croatian football, was Modric's boss at leading club Dinamo Zagreb. Mr. Mamic, his brother Zoran Mamic and 2 others are accused of corruption that reportedly cost Dinamo Zagreb more than 15 million euros and the state 1.5 million euros. Cash is said to have been embezzled via phone deals where they took a cut from the sales of players. If found guilty of perjury, Modric could face between 6 months and 5 years in prison. And to conclude the AM news, immortality is to live your life doing good things and leaving your mark behind. Thank you for watching the news. I am Idowu Fabajo. Have a wonderful day ahead of you. Good morning.